is The Fifth Estate, a conversation between young African scholars from the Fort Hall School of Government and Professor Mutahi. This week, we will write a letter to President Uhuru Kenyatta. Mr. President, Sir, we write to you because the country is not in a good place. We are anxious and we will tell you why. But in the meantime, sir, it is a fact of industry that Raila is a jobless man. The job is with you, sir. We gave you the job of president, and this is a fact of industry. If the country snaps, therefore, we will not blame Raila. Similarly, we will not blame Maraga, Chebukati, or the judge who cannot read. If we have a crisis, we will forgive Justice Maraga because he is politically naive. God will deal with him in small installments. Similarly, we will forgive Justice Milu even if she cannot read. Most of us cannot read anyway. But if country snaps, we will not forgive you, sir. The sovereign will of the people is in your custody. You must establish hegemony.
Dear Mr. President, sir, now we will tell you why we are worried. For 12 straight hours, we listened to the Supreme Court judgment on Wednesday. It was a total waste of our national imagination. But in the considered opinion of the Fort Hall School of Government, the majority decision of this court fell way below the levels of political nonsense. To say that process is more important than numbers is nothing but political nonsense. In political science, this logic is bizarre. In our own history, sir, this is the same as saying that the Mlolongo system under KANU is more important than the number of people on the Mlolongo queues. And this is why the shortest queues in the Nyayo Mlolongo lines were declared the winning queues. The queue was more important than the number of people in it. Mr. President, sir, such convoluted logic can only come from institutional failure. It is a product of institutional deceit. Mr. President, sir, our country is in a bad place.
Mr. President, sir, the civilian coup against you did not end with the Maraga ruling. It actually started with the ruling. And if this is true, what are we failing to discern about the coup? What are we missing? Mr. President, sir, Raila has told us that there will be no election. And the pedestrian question we have all asked is this: who is he to stop an election? Has he become a law unto himself? In our view, this is not the question we should be asking. What we should be asking is this: how will Raila stop the election? If he could stop the sovereign will of the people undetected through Maraga, what means will he use to stop us from voting? Mr. President, sir, Chebukati is the other coup maker we are not discerning. If the commissioners resign or engineer a situation where an election is impossible, then Raila will be proven right. Sir, allow me to state this differently. Raila will use IEBC to ensure there is no election. And this will be the first stage of the second coup.
Mr. President, sir, after IEBC aborts the election, the second phase of the civilian coup will kick in. Sir, the Honorable Attorney General has told us that you will stay in office until the next president is sworn in. And he is right. But then even Justice Njoki Ndungu was right. And Prof. J.B. Ojwang was right. But in their rightness, the first phase of the Maraga coup happened. Mr. President, sir, if there is no election, and we believe there will be no election, this is what Raila will do. He will return to the Supreme Court, and his prayers to the court will be as follows: that your mandate expires on November 1st, and that you should hand over power to a caretaker president called Justin Muturi as we prepare for another election. If the judges are annoyed because you call them Mukoras, and they have told us they are prepared to pay the ultimate price, including death, how do you think they will rule, sir? In our view, sir, the Supreme Court will complete the Maraga coup by creating a caretaker government without you. That is the plot.
Mr. President, sir, as a young student of law, John Locke taught us about the rule of bad law, the rule of mediocre law, and the rule of good law. According to him, only the rule of good law should be obeyed. Bad and mediocre laws must be disobeyed. Sir, is our constitution bad, mediocre, or good law? I am asking this question for two reasons. 1. Article 141 of the Constitution requires the Chief Justice or his deputy to be present during the swearing-in of the President. What happens, sir, if you win the October election, but Maraga and Mwilu refuse to swear you in? 2. Mother Karua has filed a petition seeking to nullify the entire election from MCA to Governor, Parliament, and Senate. If the Supreme Court makes Justin Muturi the caretaker president, and then the High Court nullifies the entire election, Muturi as Speaker of Parliament must go home. And if Muturi is a caretaker president, and then the court send him home, where does that leave the country, sir? I am asking this question because anything that can go wrong will go wrong.
If a second phase of a civilian coup is inevitable, what are the solutions then? What do we tell Uhuru Kenyatta? 1. The election is not the solution. Uhuru will definitely win in the October election, and Maraga will nullify the election yet again. This will happen on November 23rd. That's the nullification. Then IEBC will be ordered to hold a fresh election on January 23rd, 2018, and the madness will start all over again. 2. Constitutional change is not an immediate solution in our view. Even if we are to change the constitution to create a coalition government, the earliest this can happen is January 2018. 3. The solution is to disobey the rule of bad law, in my view. No progress in the world has happened without breaking the rule of bad law. This is called civil disobedience. We broke the rule of bad law on Sabasaba Day in order to bring multi-party politics in Kenya. IEBC was ordered by the Supreme Court to open their servers. They refused. They broke the rule of bad law and disobeyed orders from the highest court in the land. If Maraga rulings degenerate into the rule of bad law, Uhuru Kenyatta must break them unapologetically, and he must break them in the name of the sovereign will of the people.
And now our final thought. Mr. President, sir, you are the custodian of the supreme will of the people, and you are the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. You have the monopoly over instruments of force. You have the mandate of the people and the instruments to enforce it. Yet, in your position of strength, the country is discussing civilian coups and institutional conspiracies against you. Although you are strong, Maraga has treated your office with nothing but contempt. And this is why he refused to attend the People's Assembly in Parliament. Then he told us that if you win on October 26th, he will nullify your election yet again if IEBC misbehaves. But as he said that, he also created an environment for IEBC to misbehave. We also know that if Orengo asks Maraga's court to make Justin Muturi the caretaker president, Maraga will do it with pleasure. Sir, this man is a dangerous political novice. And although you are a measured man, you have only 30 days to arrest the coming disaster. After 1st of November, we will be in a bad place. But will you let us down? I doubt it.